It's 8:30 and I'd like to call the meeting to order. Thank you very much for braving the cold weather to attend this meeting.
I thought it was peachy keen in here.
It's so here. Hot in here. It's quite a bit
First
warmer
item
than
on
it
the
is
agenda is
here.
to acknowledge the minutes from January 19th, 20th, and 21st.
Somebody second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much. Meet with courthouse maintenance supervisor. I believe right now he is at a rehab appointment for therapy.
Yeah, I guess he
He
could.
said he would pop in when he returns.
Okay.
So we can move on past that. Meet with the county engineer who is a really nice guy this morning.
Only because I helped him.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Okay, not a problem.
In this case, teamwork doesn't mean it's dreamwork.
Good morning, supervisors. We had a little snow over the weekend. I heard that a young lady had an accident on Libertyville Road, weather related Sunday evening, sometime after 10. We did not go out Saturday. The road superintendent had made a tour of the road Saturday late afternoon and determined that at that time they were not in need of plowing. Thomas, my assistant, was driving around Saturday night later and again did not feel that it needed attention of the road department. I'm hopefully sorry for the family and the young lady whose life was cut short. They did go out Sunday morning to hit some of the areas that when traffic beat in some of that snow with the cold weather, it did pack down on the road, so it needed a little attention. And they're out again today, catching areas where it's drifting. Last week we had the letting for our bridge project on Grass Tree Avenue and then also the Libertyville Road grant project. We've got those later on to consider award to. We only had one bid on Libertyville Road and we had two bids on the Grass Tree Bridge project. But I guess we'll discuss those later. I also brought a packet with the proposed ITC route for their upgraded high voltage transfer line through the county that they first notified us when Dee was here that they were coming through and they finally have a route decided, and I'm meeting with them tomorrow morning at the road department conference room to discuss their plan of attack, how they plan on staging coming through the county. Give you guys their maps. So I'll know a lot more about that come tomorrow. With the cold weather, when we were out yesterday, we did have quite a few equipment issues, so we'll be getting repair work done this week while it's cold out. And then, if you guys remember, you approved closing the Palm Avenue Bridge here earlier last year or late last year. With the idea that we will remove the bridge and make a low water stream crossing there. We had put type 3 barricades with road closed on it on each end of the bridge, and people were moving those aside and using the bridge, which is really not rated for any traffic whatsoever. So here a few weeks ago, we put Telspar posts in 5 feet apart so that if somebody wanted to get through on a side-by-side or a four-wheeler, they could get through there because one of the residents requested that we'll allow him access so he could move his tackle back and forth if needed. but somebody kept running over the Telspar and bending them over so that they could still drive through. So we've approached the
John.
outfit that's going to remove the bridge to move up the removal sometime late February. They're going to remove that. And for the interim, we're going to put a couple of piles of brick wrap at one end of the bridge so people can't continue to cross that and risk injury. Yes, sir.
I wanted to ask, I'm sorry, do they have any way to put a camera out there, you know, they've got these zoom cameras and stuff, so you can find the people that are the scoff laws?
Well, we can if they don't steal
There you go.
them. So,
There's that.
yes, we could, but no, we won't.
That's
I'm,
right.
I'm afraid that it would be we'd just be out of decent game camera. So I appreciate the input. I think that's all I have.
You know, the worst part about that is, yeah, we gotta stop the process, no question about it. Because sure as a dick and somebody's gonna cross there, and then it's gonna collapse or it's gonna do something. And despite all the efforts we made to keep you from crossing and you cross, but it's still gonna end up being our fault.
Mhm.
Next item is to review bids and consider award for HDP-51 parent 89
That would be,
-6B-51.
that would be the Libertyville Road project. Our estimate, my estimate was between $4.5 and $4.9 million. Bids came in, or the bid came in at $4,834,184.64. So it was within our budget. And so I would recommend that we award that bid.
So move.
And that,
Second, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
yes,
Aye.
and the only bidder was Norris Asphalt Paving Company LLC out of Atumwa, Iowa.
Were you surprised?
No. I was very happy that they landed within what I estimated they would. I went and looked through the tabs. I was high on some items, low on others, but all in all, it balanced out very nicely.
I believe you have a bid for the Grass Tree Road Bridge project.
Yes. We had two bidders on that. And let's see, the engineer's estimate, because we worked with Calhoun Burns on that, was $650,000. The two bids came in well over $800,000. For the traffic on that road, I would recommend that we reject all bids. And move forward with discussing other options.
So move.
Second, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much.
You haven't decided what those other options might be.
I think our only good option on that, because there's ways out north and south. I would recommend that we put a tank car in there and make it a low water stream crossing.
How would it be low water if you put a tanker in there?
That way it would be passable probably 95% of the time. Or we could do a vented stream, a vented crossing with lower capacity, so it had water running over it more often than that. We'll toss around the cost differences and
So you'll bring that back to us.
we'll bring that back.
I appreciate that.
Okay.
Next item on the agenda, discuss, consider variance on subdivision ordinance.
I'm not here. But Jason's not here.
So why don't we move on to the next item and then
I don't know if there's somebody on. Line.
nobody's on here. Let's move on to discuss with the ambulance director and we can come back to
Okay.
that.
All right, well, other than sounding like a broken record over and over again, I don't really have a lot to discuss. Still, like, everything is just beyond my control right now, so we're kind of in a holding pattern for a lot of things. Still waiting on information from our medical director to figure out the insurance piece. Item 51 is still up in Des Moines. It should be done hopefully this week. And no updates on the training program. So day to day is
So
just,
what, is there anything we can do to light a fire under this, the medical director concern?
I mean,
It's not on his end. It's still the insurance on our end.
they're still talking. Last I was told was he is getting information, I think, from Atumwa's mothership, to figure out if his insurance will extend to cover his role here. And then if that doesn't, then they're gonna work out another plan. So I think, and with LifePoint, who knows how long that could take. So I'll reach out to them again this week and figure out, or try to figure out how to move forward. I'm gonna reach out to the training program coordinator at the state again this week. Giving her until Wednesday, and that will be 2 weeks of no response since my last message, and I'll probably push it up to her boss. So, I mean, she's had the packet since April and it's just been kicked down the road
So
over and over again, so.
if, I'm just asking this in the form of a question, so if ICAP will cover it, you know, I'm saying if, because I don't know, but I know you guys were looking into that.
Yeah,
Even in the interim, until this life, whatever you said, if they come to some conclusion, we can always revisit that, but getting something moving now,
hmm,
because I don't know how long our other director is gonna wanna hang on.
yeah, I mean,
We've offered right to cover the insurance. And
yeah, I think we're just waiting on numbers, honestly.
Yeah,
For them to figure out a plan, because the closest they had to anything was Dr. Curtis, who is the medical director for all of the volunteer services,
right.
but his malpractice liability is also partly covered by the hospital. So it's a little bit different.
So I wonder if we could reach out to our current director and say, okay, okay, we were funding for insurance, but it was purchased somewhere else.
Right.
Maybe we could go through that same company.
Right. So, and that'll be an option as well. But I think they wanted to, when I talked to, what's his name? The guy from ICAP,
Joe,
Joe. He said they try to keep it within a small group of providers. So,
well, no, I understand.
yeah,
that.
I mean, yeah, hopefully we have a conclusion soon.
Yeah,
But I'll reach out to them again this week
okay.
because I don't like just being in holding.
No,
And
I get it.
all these things are beyond my control, so. Other than that, day-to-day stuff's going.
Thank you, Judge. Yeah. The next item is to meet with Jerry Leonard to discuss consider office rent. Doesn't appear he's here. Has anybody heard from him?
He was in his office this morning. He may have forgotten.
Did anybody let him know? Just go about it.
Well, I didn't.
Same day we set the item.
That's what I thought. I was just.
Yeah.
So we'll just wait to see if he comes in before we adjourn.
Well, this is fine. Good
Well, Ken,
afternoon.
what, since we got kind of asked, because when I read through it, I had some questions for Ed.
Okay.
I was trying to understand under number 6 where it says utilities and services. It says the tenant shall pay for all utilities and services which may be used on the premises. And then in the bold, it says, except the following to be furnished by the landlord, but it doesn't say what that is. Then it says Jefferson County engineer shall share all utilities adjacent to the office. So are we just simply saying that he's not paying for utilities?
It's all this is just a draft so that whatever you guys want. And I don't know what electronics, if he has any connection to any satellite feeds or what communications and all that stuff.
He utilizes our internet and the lights for his half of the building.
If he had something separate, we'd want to put something in there, or if there's some change to that. I don't have any knowledge. So you can strike that, edit it however you want,
Okay, well, I wasn't sure.
and say without utilities. But it comes from the Iowa State Bar short form lease agreement, and those are all options. And I didn't want to take the option and make the decisions myself.
No, and that's fine. And what my hope would be, if the board was agreeable, is that somehow or another, and I don't know how, we have to talk to Shannon, I guess. Somehow or another that $100 can be funneled into the engineer's account to cover the internet, that sort of thing. It's not much, but, so just thought, well, we can,
And I put it so it's not pro tunc, so it goes back to November 1st. And to be responsible for starting, I think November 1st was the date when we first started on it.
okay.
Melissa, if you're there, and I think you are, would you put a bug in Jerry's ear that he might want to come over here? Okay, moving on. Next item is meet with Ed Malloy for annual report on Grow Fairfield. Thank you for coming, Ed.
My pleasure. It doesn't look any taller than the last time, so it's not growing much.
What's that?
I said you don't look any taller than last time.
No,
You're not growing, right?
no, that phase is over.
Oh, yeah.
Go.
I think now you would just be getting shorter. Oh, we're gonna talk about it.
Was at Jackson Point Sunday. They were in there working and Andrea was painting the ceiling.
Thank you.
Andrea painting the ceiling. And I made a comment, I know somebody in this room that couldn't do that.
Thanks for sharing.
You were outside looking in. right?
Okay,
No, I
Ed,
didn't
thanks.
reach the ceiling.
All right, guys. Ed, thanks for coming.
Thanks. Well, I was here a year ago when we talked about housing. And so we're going to talk about housing again, because that's pretty much the bulk of where we've been focusing, but we've had a good year. I think last year I spoke about we have a neighborhood revitalization project where our intent is to use vacant city lots and get some new homes on those and keep them as affordable as we can. So we bought 5 lots last year, 4 from the city and 1 privately. 2 of those, we put the Homes for Iowa product on them, on the corner of 6th and Monroe and a corner of West Jackson and 7th. I'm sure you've all seen them because they're easy to spot when you're driving by.
Yeah.
So those were delivered in June and July. And then the work that we had to do to sort of finish, we put in 2-car garages and flat work and foundation, not a crawl space, a 4-foot crawl space. And those were finished in September and October respectively. We are just approaching closing on the home on 7th Street. It'll sell for 235,000. We're we're really happy about it because our buyer is single mom with 3 kids and works for one of our major employers. That was pretty much our target market, where for workforce, was to get folks who are working. And the other one we do have some interest in as well, and we think that one will sell in the next couple of months also. And then we have 3 lots that we purchased from the city on 5th Street between Jefferson and Adams. Those we refer to as the Logan lots because they were part of the Logan housing project. So they're nice flat space. There are 3 of them there that face 5th Street, and we'll be doing 3 more of the homes for Iowa. 2 of them for sure this year, possibly 1 in the next year. And we got some state support for that. I'll talk about that in a minute. The housing subdivision, you've seen the work that's going on out there. That's essentially a city project to do the infrastructure, but Phi Construction has completed all of the underground utilities within the subdivision area itself. They have a little bit of work, and they're doing it during good periods of weather. They weren't out there last week. They probably won't be out there this week, but they've been out there continuing that work. They have to connect to the sewer a little bit to the west, and then there'll be some work to do along the drive coming in. But once the weather warms up enough where they can get to doing concrete, they'll start pouring the streets. We're hoping they'll be ready by May. And we're talking to a number of home builders and housing developers, and we're giving them June 1st as a start date. So I hope, I'm confident we'll probably have 4 or 5 homes started out there this year. And I think that's going to be important because the concept of a subdivision is one thing, laid out streets and homes going up is another. I think when people see that, then we'll get a better response and a better feel for how quickly this is going to develop. One of the companies that we're working with that specializes or has a division that does rural subdivision homes is called Origin Homes. They're a division of Hubble Realty. And what they like to do is to do 5 homes at a time. And they participate based on receiving the workforce housing tax credits for their projects. So generally, they're applying for these every year across 5 or 6 different communities, and the ones that they get funded for are the ones that they have a priority to develop in. The workforce housing tax credit is a state program. There's $39 million in the program that gets spread across projects all across the state. We received tax credits last year successfully on 5 units. We're going to apply them towards 2 of the new homes in the subdivision and the 3 remaining homes for Iowa that we'll be doing. This is $30,000 per unit that's given essentially to buy down the cost of the construction of the project so that you're making things as affordable as possible. So that's what they're looking for in terms of participating. I've offered them the option of building the 2 homes that we receive tax credits on so that we can get them engaged, and we're in discussions about that now. Any questions on the subdivision? All right, so the other is, when I came into the position 2 years ago, I found some information on a company that Josh Larrabee had been talking to. It's called Kading Properties. And they develop rental units and they essentially build and the entire, what they call a rental community in one stroke. And then they don't sell anything, they manage it. So they have 23 projects around the state. They've been in business 49 years. So they'll build a project average one every 2 years. They've got projects mostly around, the central Iowa. This would be their first in southeast Iowa. So I'd been in touch with them, and after talking to them, they said, well, it's a competitive process. A community will kind of apply based on your need, land available, a number of different things. They had 22 communities apply last year. They chose 5 finalists. We were one of the 5 finalists. Then their executive team visits each community of the 5, and then they'll make a decision about what their next project will be. So they came here, we showed them the entire community. They spent about 7 hours. We visited all our major employers, hospital, all of the different amenities, things. They were very impressed with the community, and they chose us as their next project. So we're happy about that. When I visited them in Des Moines, I took some of the information on the land holdings that we have, and the piece of ground on Gear Avenue between 12th and 18th Street. So it'll be behind Sky Factory and across from Rockwell, from Hickenbottoms. They really like that piece of ground. It was the perfect size for them. That ground's about 17 acres. They're building a project in Charles City right now on 15 acres. So they felt it was similar in size. They could really put in a good project there. When they came down during the visit and looked at it, they liked it because it was close to the manufacturing employers, close to the university through the trail system, and close to Cambridge because you're right out on the Kelp 185th Street and just up the road to Cambridge. So they've chosen that site, and we're working on that. But the thing is, when you're chosen, it's like anything else. This is going to be likely a $25 million project. They don't go everywhere, so you do have to provide some incentives for them to make the final decision to consider your community serious about working with them as a developer. They have can I get online with a computer here? Because I had a picture. I didn't get a chance to download it onto a flash drive, but
If you join via Zoom, I can give you the host.
okay. Yeah, I'd just like to show you what it looks like, what their site plan looks like. And that would be on the email that I received.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll find it here and then it'll be easier.
Okay.
And the links on the agenda.
Okay, there's
Let's see, it's not coming in as a live link.
Yeah, copy and paste it into your browser.
Yeah, you could do that too, or just, I've got a Zoom I could open also. Let's see. Power. I'm just gonna keep going. I'm running out of power in this also. So, so anyway, we're working, with the city. The incentive package would include that the city fortunately has the right tax abatement schedule for this because it's going to be multifamily. They have a 10-year tax abatement, and that's essentially what they find in a lot of communities. So that'll be a part of it. The land, the cost of the land is something, we're talking about also. And we're also going to be approaching our local employers about a cash incentive for the group as well. And so the outline that they've given us is going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of 125 to 150 units. And these will be rental units, 2-bedroom and 3-bedroom. What they build in duplexes, triplexes, and quadplexes. Generally, they're all 1-story. They all have 2-car garages, and they rent for about $1 a square foot. They kind of target a rent that will fit in the budget of someone making $18 an hour or above. So that's kind of their target. But we think that's going to be something that'll really open up the rental picture in the community because rents are high and rental places are substandard. So we think this will be a big boost to that. We received a grant called the Rural Housing Innovation Grant. This is through Iowa State University Extension and the Governor's Office. We're kind of chosen to work with an architectural team out of Iowa State University to do kind of a study of some of the housing in the community with an eye towards demolition and redevelopment of homes that can be redeveloped and salvaged. So there's going to be a study done on that. It'll be about an 18-month study. We purchased an additional 18 acres of land from Jim and Teresa Huffman on Libertyville Road, which was contiguous to the Sunrise Trail the land area. We had 34 acres there. This 18 acres will add more and over time allow that subdivision to expand into potentially 100 home sites. We worked with the Main Street organization, made presentations at the state level to secure that designation last year. The city applied for Thriving Communities, which is a designation that showcases the kind of housing work that is being done within a community, and the designation gives you a lift on grant applications. So those that are interested in low-income housing or workforce housing tax credit, they get additional points if they're in a thriving community. We'll apply. We missed that designation by 1 point. We'll apply again for that in March. And then along with a lot of the housing activities, we helped Sunrise Ghee, which is actually in the county on Jasmine, with a business expansion loan through the READY program. We've held meetings about investment of local capital into new businesses. We've had meetings and conferences with builders and contractors about our upcoming building projects. We are one of the sponsors, along with the Chamber of Commerce, of the Traction Thursday. That takes place every week. I know that Joe attends a lot of those. And we've been advising a lot of local businesses, entrepreneurs. We also successfully formed a new nonprofit called the Fairfield Economic Development Foundation. And this foundation will be a nonprofit that supports housing incentives. So with all of the different initiatives that we have, incentivizing builders with grants to help them buy, keep their costs down. Something that'll come out of that foundation. It has a separate board, but it will be connected to a lot of the work that we're doing. That's my list.
Thank you. Do you guys have any questions for Ed?
Back to the rental unit, how long do you think that'll take to get?
They do it quickly. They would, if we can get everything put together, the developer agreement with the city in the next, say, 3 months, they'd start their engineering work and probably hope to be moving dirt at the end of the year. And then next year would be a major construction year. Now, they've done these projects all in one phase and they've done them in 2 phases. They haven't decided, but they could do it all in one. They have their own construction crews for some things. And again, they do the infrastructure as well. They're going to be basically laying the infrastructure and building the streets. So and they're also, asking us to put together a list of subcontractors locally. So I would say 2027, 2028.
Any idea when you said $1 a square foot?
Is that going to hold?
Well,
for
no,
the
not
next
so
2
much
years?
that is what type of square footage we were talking about.
Yeah, their units, if you looked at them online, Kading Properties, anywhere from say 750 to 1,250. So, and again, they all have 2-car garages, and the design they use for the 1 stories is essentially the 2 garages are up front, and then the entrance to the building is recessed, and then it's connected to another one, and it's just the opposite on that side.
I got one other question that
Yeah.
you may or may not have any answer to. I've been reading. What we were talking about, business retention, attraction, and entrepreneurship.
Right.
There's an ongoing discussion, shall we say.
The Foundry?
Yeah,
Yeah, well, here's my read of it. I understand that, look, any business that's emitting needs to be licensed, and I think that permit lapsed from the last owners. So they put the application in place. I'm sure that what they have in an application will satisfy everything that the DNR is looking for going into it. But the DNR, I think, is also talking to them about removing the cupola and bag house. So cupola is basically connected to the coal burning element of the operation, and their plans are not to utilize that anymore anyway. They've been melting with an electric furnace that's fed by natural gas and by electricity. So I think, and again, I don't think people know that at this point in time. So that'll be, positive. They've extended when the DNR puts the comment out for public comment. I think that when they put it out in October, they were getting a lot of information, so they wanted to extend it. So they've extended it. And then this Thursday, there's a meeting online where people will be able to, comment again. And then they'll basically do a summary of all of the different comments and then, move forward and make a decision. Again, I think they're going to be in compliance with what they need to be in compliance for. If the public comment, pushes them to ask them to do a little bit more, which I don't know if would happen in a situation where you don't want to create a precedent where somebody's being asked to do more than someone else who has the same permit. It's eventually going to pass. So.
well, I just, it's been closed for quite a while, and there were a lot of jobs and a lot of local business folks came in and tried to keep it going, and
Yeah, well, it was closed for a while there after Revstone, and I think then the local group came in, but that's like
yeah.
8 years ago,
Right.
8 or 9 years ago, and they've been operational. So when it went out of operation in March of 24, it had 85 employees. So, then it took the new company, Highcast, because they wanted to clean up before they got started. So they bought it in August, but they weren't operational until a year ago,
Right.
February, March of 25. And they've got about 30 employees right now. And they've invested a lot of money in there. You might not see it, but
Right.
they've fixed up a lot. They did an environmental study on the grounds and they found 2 areas that were contaminated, and they've remediated those. So they're doing things right out there, and their intention is to build it up and to grow.
Good.
But again, the information has to be there. Problem is, when you go online and you read the permit, it sounds like you're reading, a list of side effects from medication or the side of a cigarette box. It's just like, these are all the potential things that could be emitted. They use the word probable, but not necessarily those that are being emitted and what they're capturing with their filtering system. So
Right.
it's just, there's a lot of fear in the people who are wondering, but I went to their public meeting that they had a week ago. And, a woman had stood up and said, I left here 15 years ago. And she said, and now I've moved back, and, something like, lucky for me. And it just got a little bit of a laugh, meaning that she moved back to a place where there was air pollution. And I got up and spoke at the end of it. And I said, welcome back, but the air's a lot cleaner right now than it was when you were here 15 to 25 years ago, because that plant had 250 employees and was running 3 shifts. And 2 blocks away, there was another one running 3 shifts that had 150 employees. So it's not, relative to a really strong concern at this point. We've had those plants operational in town for a long time.
Well, that's my point. And like you mentioned the number of employees in those 2 locations, and, it's very difficult to replace those jobs. And if you're going to develop housing and so on and so forth, there's got to be work so people can pay for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Any more comments?
So, so building all these houses, are you looking for manufacturing to come into town bring people to town for jobs, or
Yeah.
where do you think these people are, excuse me, going to come from for all this housing you're talking about?
I think it's gonna come from existing companies, Joe. And when we survey Dexter, Cambridge, Traffics, and Agra to a degree, upwards of 40% of their employees travel from outside of Fairfield and to work. So I think we already have people that are living other places. So we're making more housing available for our existing workforce. We're always open for business if there's someone new to attract. We want to take every opportunity there, but I think it exists. In 2023, the city and Grow Fairfield published a study with Iowa State Extension on housing needs, called it the Rural Housing Readiness Assessment. And essentially showed that we needed 200 units between houses and rentals at that time. And that really hasn't changed. That's really the case everywhere. Some of it is replacing bad housing or bad, apartments, as I mentioned earlier. And some of it is to attract people to the community. We had a couple looking at the 6th Street house that they're employed at Cambridge. And when they came here 3 or 4 years ago, they couldn't find anything that they wanted in town, so they ended up living in Coralville. So they said they love their home in Coralville, but they're getting real tired of the drive. So I just think we want to, have housing available for, for people who already work here.
For this, this hearing with the DNR over this, the old high cast.
Right.
That's putting a black mark on anybody wanting to come to town. And these people need to realize that we need to bring that kind of stuff back in here.
Yeah.
Something with manufacturing or something. And we've lost a lot of jobs over the years, and Something's gotta be done to bring stuff back.
You know, that's a tough business right now. The foundry business is a tough business. There aren't many more around the country. I think there are only two others in the state of Iowa at this point in time. And I think that, you know, the cost of that type of manufacturing has just kind of skyrocketed, which is why everything's moved to China. This company that bought Faircast, Highcast, Highcast is the new entity that bought it. The group was out of Cincinnati, and their company was called CMT Imports. And they imported parts from China that were manufactured in China. They specialized in parts for hydraulics. And their customers were telling them they wanted American made. So that's why they looked for a foundry to buy in America, and they found Faircast. So that's why they're here, is to start manufacturing again in the United States. But right now, everything, in that area, not everything, I'm saying a lot of the production has gone to China. And it's probably still there.
It needs to be brought back.
Yeah.
And to Joe's point, we've lost Falco, we've lost Malibu, we've lost, at this point, the Dexter Foundry, it's not Dexter Foundry anymore, but
Yeah.
I call it Plexco, Chevron.
Yeah.
Rockwell, and those are J&B Plastics, when that was part of. So the job market here is depressed, and I agree with the notion that sometimes our advertisement isn't necessarily conducive to.
Well,
And I don't mean physical advertisement, I just mean.
you're looking at, I've been here as long as all of those companies went out of business as well. So I know the time period, but during that time period you created, 650 jobs at Cambridge. And I understand they're different. They're not, they're not blue collar jobs. They're not manufacturing jobs, but, agro-industrial plastics probably grew by 150 employees. Traffic devices probably grew by 100 employees. There are a number that they've basically filled up. Our hospital employs 350 people. Back during that period of time, it was probably 50. And so we've balanced a little bit, but we're always looking, for those opportunities. And you want clean, production. You want clean jobs in that sense. And those are out there. There are companies out there, but yes, we have to be open to, filling more of those types of jobs for sure. Good wages and good benefits, good employers. And, we're lucky we have the ones we have, but yeah, we did lose a few.
Ed, Dexter still utilizes the foundry that's in town for their parts.
Yes,
do
they
not?
do. Right.
So we need that
I know.
Highcast
I know.
to support Dexter. Dexter, I would say, is one of the best companies to work for in town because their ESOP retirement plan for their folks. I don't want these folks around here to lose that.
No.
And I look back 15 years. Yeah, there were sulfur smells and all that around town. Smoke. It's way better than what it was.
Yeah, it is.
And I just hate to
Air's
see.
cleaner. Yeah.
I mean, I was part of that conversation yesterday.
Yeah.
It takes everybody to make this town work, not just one person.
Well, yeah, the company wants to be successful here. They picked up all of the clients that Faircast had, and they have some of their own. So
Good.
I don't know specifically that they're still making parts for Dexter, but I can't imagine they're not.
Dexter's got to get them from somewhere,
Yeah.
and they were doing that. So I don't know.
Yep.
I think the shipping to be cheaper would think I get it locally, I mean, as opposed to having to truck it. So
Unless we have a load embargo on, Grime Street.
Well, that could be.
Anyway, thank you for coming.
My pleasure.
And thanks for listening to us.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Abby, who's next? I see Gary's not here.
No,
I would imagine he's coming. Discuss, consider variance on subdivision ordinance.
imagine they're PC.
Well, then come on up. You're next in line. It's a day for people not to show up.
Oh,
Thank you for coming.
Well, this is where we're at in the alphabet.
okay, say we like to show up.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
My name is Brent
Hi, Brandon.
and this is Joe. Hello. Yeah, we just want to say thanks for meeting with us. Joe's gonna kind of start off with talking about what we are about, I guess.
So Joe and Brett from KCTC, that's the Kelowna Cooperative Technology Company, where we serve Washington, Henry, Jefferson, and Wapello counties with fiber optic and fixed wireless internet services. And then on top of that, the Southeast Iowa area with VoIP services, so that'd be voice over internet protocol. Phone services, managed IT, and security camera systems. Saw the article last week about looking into phone systems, so that's what prompted us to reach out and
Thanks
for
for
an
coming.
opportunity to talk, let you know that there are other local companies that provide these services. Right now, we have a upcoming fiber build along Highway 1 between Brighton and Fairfield. So we are active in the county and putting money into the county. Currently, picked up FarmTel, which a few years ago. So I know that was supported some of the regions around here. We picked them up, so we are a growing business. We're 100 years old and are going strong.
You look pretty good.
Well, you know what? You should see my parents. They look good too.
Wait, he's does.
No, he's talking about you.
Oh, okay.
And then also
That went
we
down.
and then also we've completed a few of our projects with ARPA funding that we've gotten from Jefferson County. So just want to demonstrate we have a working relationship currently with Jefferson County and give a little bit of history there. And then also I talked to our construction manager, Jacob Slaybaugh, who's mentioned that Dwayne in engineering has been very helpful during the permitting process and getting things figured out for our fields. So I just want to say thanks to Dwayne for that.
I see him in the corner.
Well, thanks, Dwayne. Jacob says hi.
Yeah. Good guy.
Oh, good. See, that's one for us.
I have no complaints with the way they do work. You guys be good subcontractors.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Brett, if you want to go.
So yeah, we do all kinds of things, and one of the things that we do are phone systems. And so for us, what we're kind of here is to kind of let you know what we do, and then also to get information if you're interested in us getting a quote to you guys. So how our phone system works is that it's based on how many your billing would be based on how many phones you have or users or extensions. And so we would like to see how many phones you'd want quoted, and then how many phone lines you have. And then with our voice over IP, let's just say in an office, sometimes there might be like a main line and then like 2 rollover lines. With our voice over IP system, there's not a need for having like a rollover line. So if someone calls in, say like in your office, and you answer, and then there's another phone ringing, that phone can still be answered. You don't have to wait. It doesn't have to roll over to a different number. So it's done differently. And so with the voice over IP system, you can have an employee. I mean, it might not be ideal, but if they needed to work from home, they can have their phone at home as long as they have internet and an Ethernet connection. They can just plug it in and they can make and take calls at home if they wanted to, because it's not based on your location. It's just based on if you're able to get internet access. You can take it anywhere. There's a phone app that we have that goes with each extension. So I'll just kind of. So I'm logged in right now. So you can make and take calls from the work number without giving out your personal number. So like if you're out and about and you're expecting a call, You can do that. And then if to log out, you just log out and say like for the weekend, you know, you don't want to hear any of those calls, you can do that. Our phone system is very customizable. It's basically however you want it done too. So we're here just to get some information, like what you're interested in having done, what you're currently doing, like what your, you know, current like pain points are, like what you're having issues with and what you'd like to see improved, that kind of thing. So that's kind of my I guess first information on that. We do have all kinds of info as far as the different types of phones. This is kind of like our main office phone. It has all kinds of different things. So there's 4 different parks or like holds. You can put someone on hold. You transfer. I mean, it does everything that you'd look for in an office phone. We use Yealink. That's probably like the most common phone brand for voice over IP systems. And so the difference between say like this one and like a less expensive one, this one you can use Bluetooth headset with. The cheaper model like this, you wouldn't be able to do that, and you'd have 2 holds. So like if there's like a place where you don't need like anything super fancy, so there's different options. We don't, you know, we can sell you whatever Geolink has because they have a lot of different phone options, but this is definitely the most common one, and it's backlit. And then we have ones that are wireless that you can do. It just depends on what you're looking for. So yeah.
What kind of struggles or issues are you having now?
Well, I was kind of the catalyst and the company that came in the other day that we talked to was kind of just happened to be at the time that we were having some trouble with the current carrier that we're using. So one of the things, and I don't know if this applies to you guys or not too, but one of the things that they were talking about is we could eliminate the landline. Okay. But the issue that we were having at the time that really frustrated myself as well as several of our offices is we were dropping calls.
Oh, I see.
And you're trying to talk to people to, you know, and they're trying to conduct business and business that they're trying to conduct. Not that it isn't important everywhere, but it can be particularly important here. Especially during election times, you know, the recorders, the treasurer, property taxes, all of this stuff. And so we're dropping calls. So I called the company personally multiple times. They even suggested that I go downstairs and do this and do that. And I got very frustrated with them. And I indicated that, well, whose equipment is it? Well, it's ours. Then you need to come and fix it. And there was a little bit of a hem-on. I said, I'll tell you what, I said, I'm just going to go talk to somebody else about replacing all this stuff. Within a matter of minutes, then they called back and they were going to have somebody on the way to. So the first thing I want is to eliminate that. When the auditor's office calls or anybody else called and said, hey, I got a hiccup, I want somebody to come fix it.
Yeah.
The other thing is that if we can reduce our costs, I don't know whether you're aware of this or not, but outside interests are trying to reduce our revenue stream and probably will be successful. So anywhere where we can reduce or become more efficient in the operation, then that's something that I would like to see accomplished. So from there, I guess.
Yeah. No. My question too, is there a way that we can get like a copy of your current phone bill? So then we can see what numbers you have, and then with see what
Well,
you're wanting to.
I don't know if Ray's here, but Ray pays hours in here. I just saw it. And I gotta be honest with you, I don't know what all this number includes because we get our internet service from the same
Sure.
company, okay? I don't know if that would all change. In other words.
No, so I didn't mean to overdo.
No.
So just for example, there's a business in Mount Pleasant that just got fiber from a company that's here in Fairfield, and they just switched over and they
they were not happy with their phone system, and it wasn't what they were expecting, so they're switching their service to us. But they definitely do still have to have, keep the internet with that same company. So for that also, they just signed a contract, so they were able to get out of the contract, and still keep like the internet service. And so that's one thing.
So we would have to purchase our internet from a different provider.
Yes,
Okay.
yep,
I just,
or the current one that you have.
right.
No, we don't quite reach here with fiber.
So to answer your question, I can't answer your
Yep.
question other than the bill I just saw for here
Mhm.
was $760 some dollars.
Okay.
But I don't know if that included both the landline and the internet. Ray would know the answer to that. They're billed separately over at the public health nurse.
Mhm.
I assume we're billed separately out at the engineer's office and out at the ambulance base.
Good.
DHS building.
DHS building, yeah, we provide service there as well, and across the street at the county attorney's office. So location wise, you're familiar with where the engineer's office is at? Where your construction crew is, because you
So
said
it is. Construction crew is.
it's on North 8th Street.
Okay.
Public health is over here, catty corner
Mhm.
from the civic center
Okay.
on the south,
Broadway.
yeah, that'd be southwest corner. DHS or county attorney's right across the street. I don't know, do we do the clerk of court and all that? Do we do the court system?
I hope not.
No, okay, she's saying no.
So,
Okay, so then you've got your auditor's office, your VA coordinator, treasurer, recorder, assessor, which is upstairs on the third floor. This office, I don't know how many numbers of phones we've got, but quite a few.
You have county shops around the county that have phone service or anything like that?
I don't think they
I
do.
don't think any of our sheds have. I mean, we do all over the county, but they would park our maintainers and stuff. in.
Okay, I know for the phone
Yeah.
The
service.
sheriff's department have,
Sheriff's Department is serviced by KCTC, but no, they're serviced by Liberty Communications. They just redid all of their cable or their fiber, or whatever you want to call it in there.
Yeah.
But I don't know, we've not included the sheriff's office. I believe, somebody up there can answer that question.
I don't know who that is. It's on.
Right?
Cornelius is on and
Yeah.
Jefferson County Sheriff's Office is on.
But anyway, that kind of gives you. And so I don't know what the total is. I don't know whether you guys. When she pays, when Darcy pays the bills,
She has it separated.
yeah. So we could probably break it down with Darcy. And go from there. I mean. The phones look very similar, but they're. The gentleman that we've had actually install our phone system years ago. Is still in business, and I don't know. What what his plans are. I do know that he called me and wondered why. But it had nothing to do with him. It was the company, not him as an individual. In fact, when I couldn't get them to come, I called him and he did. So, so it was just a matter of frustration, the dropping of the calls and not being able to get anybody to work on it. The phone system was, I guess I would say, was adequate in terms of it accomplished everything we needed it to accomplish.
Yeah.
So just to keep that in perspective.
Okay.
The sheriff's office said next degree.
Next degree, what?
I don't,
If the next degree makes it warmer?
yeah.
Okay.
so you're saying that's construction between Bright and Fairfield,
Mhm.
putting in fiber optics.
Mhm.
How close are you gonna come to Fairfield?
I would have to talk to Jacob in construction on that. I know we're not getting into the town of Fairfield, but I can find out how close we're getting.
Are you headed to Cambridge?
I can find that out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think what Joe was
we were talking about too is like, not necessarily from Brighton, Fairfield, but like Highway 1. So like, that turn on Highway 1 where you either go to Richland or Brighton, that's where that route's kind of, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Highway
So
78.
78 and 1.
78,
Yeah.
yeah.
Are you gonna come south on one some or just to that intersection, you think?
Like on that road. So I know we're going past like Rogers Egg and that.
That's Highway 1 south.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
So we're going up to a certain point. I don't know what that point
Lisco
is.
went out that way a few years ago. I know, I think it was Lisco that went out to some houses on Highway 1. So you're headed to Rogers Egg, are
Or
you?
past that, yeah. That I hear.
That far at least.
Yeah, I know that would have been.
Let's get in my area.
That's right, you're in the Pleasant Plain area, right?
No,
Oh, no.
I'm northwest of Fairfield. I'm Joe Ledger.
Yeah. Well, someone told me you're in Pleasant Plain area. That's why I said.
There's a bunch of ledgers there, but not me. I'm
Okay.
northwest of town.
All right.
I currently use your internet service.
Thank you.
Okay, awesome.
You had a meeting in Richland last year sometime at the
Yes.
library.
Mhm.
Were you there?
I would not have been yet.
I
don't-
wasn't there either.
Okay,
No.
because we went to that
Yeah.
meeting.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I'm happy with the service. You guys, if that means anything to anybody else.
It means a lot to me.
Yeah.
I, with the permission of the board, I wanted to just ask for information.
Mhm.
If you have a main line organization that you use, such as WebEx or Ring Central, or what major, really kind of getting into the weeds, but
Like who are using to power our VoIP system?
yeah.
We do have a third party, it's not us, but we've had a long-standing relationship with them
And what company is that?
that are unable to give out the proprietary information on that one.
It's
Okay,
okay.
That's okay. Yeah.
But yeah, we do have,
Mhm.
like Joe was saying, it's not just all done through us because it's not that easy to do. And in order to do like a large phone system like what you guys are currently doing, we definitely need help with that. We currently are in like a lot of schools around our area. Those are like our larger ones. So like Kyoto, Highland, Mid Prairie, they're all on our phone systems, and so they're definitely larger accounts. We also serve a lot of businesses that are out of state. So like we've had like there's a company out of Mount Pleasant where they switched to our phone system, but they also had a location in Texas, and so we were able to get them their phone system, and we had to do a lot of things like calling in and talking to them and working with them in Texas. But we definitely have a lot of experience just doing whatever. So
Let me ask you a real quick question, and it's just because I don't understand. Well, I'm not technologically efficient in any way, shape, or form. So if we were able to do away with the landline and we stay with our current internet provider, just for
Mhm.
sake of argument, and you put in a phone system and we pay for the equipment up front,
Mhm.
is there a monthly fee or something on top of what our internet would be? In other words, what I'm looking at
Mhm.
is there's no, I don't know that there's a financial benefit to eliminating the landline just to take on another fee and still pay the internet. Does that make sense?
Yes.
sure.
And the same situation would apply, you know, with the other organization that came in. The idea is we really don't need to upgrade equipment per se, but we're looking for service and we're looking for saving money. If we eliminate the landline, then we certainly can save money, but if we replace that with a like cost, then we really didn't gain anything. Plus, we'd have the expense up front of changing
Sure.
equipment.
Typically our monthly fee is less than the landline fee, so that there is an upfront cost for the equipment, but it does equal out and then work better in the long term because of our fee being less than the landline fee. That, and you will have service. We're just up the road. We have trucks going up and down, and
our techs are quite capable and happy to help with any issues along those lines.
Well, I guess we sick them on Ray first, huh?
Probably it's the best place to start.
Okay. Right across the foyer there in the VA's office.
Oh,
Because he
okay.
pays the, well,
Okay.
and Darcy has it all broken out. She said Darcy in the auditor's office
Okay.
has it all broken out. So that would give us a cost
Mhm.
of what we're currently doing, and that would include both the cost of the landlines and the internet.
Sure.
I will say early on, we had a little bit of problem. My wife called you guys, somebody's there the next day. Service was excellent. And then, last summer, you called, you wanted to come in and update the equipment.
Oh, yeah.
And we was on the water tower northwest of town, which is only a mile and a half from my house. And you moved me to a different water tower because it was better feed off of that. Then I kind of kept talking to the technician. I think he was eliminating that tower. Is what we kind of,
Possible, yeah,
It's very
could be
possible, yes.
consolidated.
yeah.
We invested in some equipment that's gives us a better reach, so we don't have to have as many towers.
Have you had any situations where you've had interruptions because the internet is down?
If the internet's down, then the phone would be down since it's going over the phone or going over the internet.
Okay.
But if you are over fiber, our fiber, I think we had maybe one day last year where our fiber days were down, so that is a better than 99.9% uptime. So if you are on fiber, I would say I would expect the phones to work.
Have you done much work with 911 systems for law enforcement? Where we need to have background and be able to find stuff and provide it in discovery major cases. Sometimes communications and those records are really essential in trials to see that you don't get cases dismissed.
Sure. Yeah, I know the city of Washington has our VoIP phone system, and so I'm not a technician by any means, but I know that it's all up to code, and yeah, there's different things that they have to do to make that 911 calling work. So
Do we need to keep a landline in case the internet's ever goes down and someone has a heart attack and needs to call the ambulance? Do we need to keep a landline also as a backup?
I would probably lean towards having maybe a mobile hotspot as a backup in that scenario, but I can get
it's
better
just something
answer to
to,
that question.
just reiterate too, is that let's just say the internet does go down. You do have that app on your cell phone,
Right.
so you can make and take calls with that app on.
Will that work with the 911 system?
Yeah.
I don't even need the app to dial 911 on the cell phone. We do, that just reminded me when Ed was talking, we do have a phone in the foyer out here too,
Okay.
I think.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, in this building, if it went down, there's probably 4 different carriers in this building and people with cell phones. And they wouldn't all go down at the same time.
Yeah.
So,
One think so.
Has a phone too.
Hmm?
David has a phone too.
Oh, okay. And our maintenance guy, which is down in the basement, almost right below Ray's office. If you went outside and went down the stairs and turned to your right, you'd see some stairs going down. His office is underneath there.
And then just give you like a general overview of how we do the billing and quotes for the phone system. So I imagine you have probably quite a few phones all together, because we would quote it all together unless you want it separate for each location. It's up to you, because it's going to be all in one billing with ours, even though there's different locations. So basically you're going to have a lot of users because you have a lot of phones. And so your user fee would be a lot less than if you just had one phone. The user fee is like $25, essentially the same price as the
your landline phone. And so if you have a lot, the more phones you have, the less your user fee is. So.
Any other questions?
No, so I said Ray's office is right across. I don't know if he's there, but if his light's on,
Okay,
he's
he's
home.
home.
Yeah.
Lights on,
he-
somebody's at home.
Yeah.
Thank you,
And
thank
all
you
right,
very much for coming by.
Thank you for your time.
And we will
Appreciate it.
await your quote or your information.
Yeah, and you'd have an idea of how many phones altogether.
Yeah, and then like I said, Darcy in the auditor's office, she would have the breakdown as to what her costs are.
Okay.
Because she breaks it out each location.
Yeah.
We definitely save you money, the upfront cost of buying the phones and the labor as a one-time fee, so. Yeah. All
Okay,
right, thanks for
Thank
having
you
us.
very much.
appreciate it.
Appreciate your time
You
very
bet.
much. Thank you.
You bet.
Thanks, Joe.
Thank you, Joe.
Thanks, Brad.
Thanks for meeting you in person. Thanks.
Thank you, Brad.
And what's your name, sir?
Lee?
Nice to meet you. Yep. Thank you.
Yep.
This is our sidekick, Susie.
Except right now she can't kick.
No, let's rephrase that. I babysit.
That's my.
I've read the notes.
And Abby babysits me and the rest of us, so you know.
Well, I told Joe on the phone that my in-laws are Ron and Sharon Brown that live right across from the school here. So she's coming down Friday to babysit. 'Cause,
Really?
Yeah. So I have an 8-year-old kid in Washington. So
Does Ron have a sister named Nancy?
yes. Yep. Yep. So
Is that good or bad?
Good.
okay.
It's good.
So anyway,
It's short.
yep. So we make it to Fairfield quite a bit.
Good. Thanks for coming out.
Have a good day. Thanks.
Appreciate you guys, thank you.
Stay warm.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess nobody else wants to show up. Let's just talk about discuss and consider the contract for voting machine equipment purchase.
Did you have a chance to look at this?
No, I did not.
Acceptance testing. Responsibility of customer. Abby shall act in good faith. They didn't spell your name right.
Abby, essentially, we can order now, pay July 1st.
Mhm.
So first year would be
It's,
refresh us.
so, 10X is the, voter check-in system. We would be going to tablets instead of having the laptops. And that full cost is due July 1st. They won't spread that out
Okay.
over 3 years. But the other cost, is, the other one is the vote tabulation machine, so you know what you run your ballot through to tabulate votes. And then also the handicap accessible machines, that total we can break out over 3 years, interest free.
Okay.
So that's the 84,000 that is in our budget. Is 44 of it is for the voter check-in system, and the other 40 and some odd dollars is for the tabulation system.
And then it's 40 for the next 2 years after.
Yeah, whatever that breakdown, whatever that
So
breakdown
this
is.
would, if, once this is purchased, you're gonna be good to go for the November elections.
Yeah, we hope to have them here and going for the primary.
Nice. Oh, nice.
We're looking
June
at,
2nd.
yeah, we're looking at having a training day for our election officials on this in April.
Nice. And please humor me, Elon Musk has nothing to do with this, correct?
We've been with Adkins for
Yeah,
a
for a
really
long
long
time.
time. They are a super great company to work with, you know,
You would know.
um, can just speak to, hey, you know, we have more turnout in this particular precinct and I need ballots for the election and they will get them here the next day.
Wow.
And if we have any issues, they're on the phone, they're calling us back, they're not making us just stand by and, oh, we'll
Sure.
get to you at some point. They make the effort. And I don't have a map, but their business speaks volumes because most of the state of Iowa auditors' offices go with Adkins. There's a few other companies, but they have great product.
Well, and the thing, when we looked at our budgets, our ending fund balances, this was included in those
Yes, it
ending fund
was.
balances, so.
And this would be out of the supplemental
Right.
because it's elections.
So I would make a motion to approve the contract with the voting equipment purchase.
Second. We have a motion and a second. All this indicate aye if you're interested.
I,
Motion passed. Thank you very much. Abby, thank you.
Yeah, I have a few originals here if you guys would.
Do you have, how many do you need? 3?
Maybe a couple, just,
Does the state auditors on their state auditor?
Secretary of
Mr.
State.
Page- Secretary of State, Mr.
Yep.
Page's office. Yeah, do they have a list of approved equipment and is this on it?
Yes, and I guess I haven't looked, but I would say yes.
Where do we sign?
Almost all 99 counties are on this
Oh my
system.
God,
We're one of
good
the,
question.
Safety numbers.
yes,
Yeah,
there's
line,
only like
on the
2 or
line.
3 of us left that
Well,
haven't
they're
gone to
different.
this system. It's been
Okay.
around for a
Yes,
while,
Okay.
but
Okay.
they basically told us,
I'm kind of a belt and suspenders guy. I'm sorry.
Yes,
No,
and
you're
you'll do
fine.
the top since you're chairman. Where do we sign on here? There's so many lines.
You've got 3 lines indicated by yellow.
yeah,
Oh,
it's all right, just wherever. So that goes with that.
Today's date,
Yes, please.
This second. The 23rd.
it's the 26th.
That one too, please. There's 2 different agreements because 2 different systems.
Understand.
There you go, Susie.
Okay.
You sign on it. Oh, I'm back.
I know you shouldn't ever show a salesman that you're excited about something, but I think like, what can we buy it today? Like, I'm excited.
Joe,
It's best, well, we've got some others
indicate
that
your
we're really
type.
seriously thinking about, but
Yes.
you're right. I think I'd be excited if you're going to the new system, that's good.
bullshit.
Yes.
That we're supposed to-
And I
And
think,
everyone else did it, that's. My old mother used to say, be not the first by which the new is tried, nor the last to set the old aside.
yes, which we're the last, or one of the last, but like our printers now, we have 2 of them at each precinct.
Yeah,
They're heavy and our little old ladies,
yeah,
they struggle with them. And these new printers are like, it all fits, 2 printers and 2 tablets fit in one.
electronic
case.
instead of mechanical.
Yes,
That's cool.
yes, they'll be excited.
Oh, that's good. Anything that makes it easier for all these phones.
Yes,
Stuff is
absolutely.
terrible. We should be so thankful to everyone that puts up with all the stuff that they get.
I know they just got a raise, but they
Wait a minute.
really,
We did
they
authorize
really,
signature,
What are we
Printed.
paying them?
authorize signature, printed.
Did I
the
jump
chairs in
wrong?
each precinct is now at $11 an hour, and everybody who's not a chair is $10 an hour.
You know, something. Let's see.
It's minimal,
Okay.
it is,
Pays for the gas to get there.
yes.
We got enough for them.
It's still for a big election, you know, you're looking at $13,000 just for wages,
Yeah.
just for those guys.
I'm glad we had a chance to talk about how we feel about high cast.
I don't know, I've signed my name so many times, I see that forms.
Don't worry about it. Abby will fix it.
I will.
I know
Or she'll talk to us about it. There'll be a training later.
There will.
See, here we go. What's this?
I got blank left.
Oh, we're in.
Go together.
I think I'm gonna steal that.
Oh.
Thank you.
Okay.
Oh, you left?
Wonder
Why I'm so quiet.
Exactly.
Sign it too.
Nope,
You got enough?
I've got enough. I have. We need to sign both of those and then I'll have 2 copies of each. Thank you kindly.
Okay.
You need this one.
Nope.
I'm just gonna pitch it.
I'm gonna do down here.
It is, yeah.
Is
Let's see.
Dwayne, is Jerry Leonard not coming, do you think?
Well, he left here and Melissa thought he was heading there, but he did not.
Okay,
I'll stick my nose over and make sure his lights are still out.
thank you. So, we're at committee reports.
No one's home.
All right. So,
Okay, I had Semco, good attendance. We discussed, what all the other counties are doing for raises. We voted on a raise to give the Semco guy, Bill Sloop. And,
He's overpaid now.
basically got a, topographical map to look at of the, where they're putting trash and what it's going to end up looking like. That was interesting. I was also at a workforce meeting on Thursday. And the entire gist of that meeting is, questions and dealing with and thinking about the governor wanting to make community colleges able to give 4-year degrees. And the concept there would be they'd have to hire more people to be able to teach those higher level courses, because basically at the community college, you get level 100 and 200 classes, but the 300 and 400 level classes aren't there yet. So it's a work in progress. Plus, I spent some time with you guys.
that was the best part of your week.
It was,
Yeah.
only because Abby and Christy were here.
I could see it in your eyes.
Well, thank you, thank you. I didn't really attend any meetings dealing with supervisors, went to Republican Central Committee meeting in Fraction Thursday, so.
Well,
Not all the budget, all the
sorry.
budget meetings,
Yeah.
first 3 days.
So Monday had ECI.
How was that?
Well, we didn't have a quorum, but Tammy updated those of us that
Yeah,
that were
yeah.
on. And it appears that HHS's recommendation will be to eliminate ECI altogether. Effective, well, it would be a year and a half from now. In other words, the elimination would be effective June 30th of 2027. So, or I'd have to look at the email, FY 27. So I can't remember now if that would be, it'd be a year and a half from now, right? And so how that's going to look, how that transition is going to take place, if supervisors are still going to be stakeholders until then, or if they're, at this point, we just don't know. But I do know that, was it Tammy from Public Health has been moved into a different organization, so to speak. Still doing the same thing, but there's a lot more reporting requirements and stuff that's associated with that.
What, refresh me, what was Tammy doing? What is Tammy doing?
Well, she works with the daycares and that sort of thing, teaching and teaching parents and.
Yeah.
But it's what it's going to be folded into or how it's going to be folded into. Tammy didn't go into a great amount of detail. She just sent out a notice that because they had a meeting Tuesday following our ECI meeting, and then she sent out an email saying that it's a recommendation to eliminate it. And so I sent her an email back and I said, meaning this July 1 coming June 30th of this year, 26. And she said no, it'd be FY 27. So June 30th of 27 is when they would potentially, if they follow through with that, would end that. So that was that. And Thursday, I had SERG and 1015 transit and RPA. So there's a possibility that Keokuk County may move into SERG, which might help reduce our per capita charge. It hasn't changed for years. It's been, but it's 85 cents. I don't know whether that would, right now, I think Keokuk County is with Muscatine and the service is kind of questionable, so they don't know. And we didn't really have any incidences or responses, which is a good thing. 1015 transit, we have gotten a bunch of new vans, and we're still looking at, we were told that Region 17, we share funding with them, and we are sitting on well over $500,000. So we're going to buy some big buses with that, as well as still looking at purchasing a tow truck. We've been getting donations for the VA. We need a lot more. I'm gonna reach out to some folks at Cambridge. But we're also looking for volunteers for vet rights promotion. Exactly what that looks like, I don't know yet. And so I volunteered Ray. I don't reach out to him, but I figured. So we're finally getting, it took forever for us to get our contracts for our van and stuff. So they showed us pictures of our new wrap, because we wrap the van. So when you see the van that has the veterans all over it, that's a wrap.
Oh.
And so they could take that wrap off and put a different wrap on there. It doesn't come off when you wash it. It's really hard to, there's a secret to success getting it off. So the new wrap on the new vans, and they're white vans, you know, you've seen a lot of our, I call it a rust color. I'm not crazy about it, but they call them orange. Okay, so these new vans are going to be white, and they're going to have all of our counties and the roads on them. So you'll see Jefferson County, and you'll see the roads and you know, and the intersection stuff. all the way around. So depending upon, from one county to the next, all the way around. So all 10 counties will be on the vans. So that'll be kind of cool. And then RPA, there were just some amendments to Mahaska County overlay project, and we got funds from transit, 108,000 twice, two different van replacement agreements. So we will get some money from them to replace, and then we vision on the Blacksburg 3.6 miles from Buffalo Road to Highway 34. So that will take place, and then I got a survey that I'm supposed to do. That I'm particularly excited about, because I think I'm gonna have to get with Dwayne to do these. I mean, or Sean, because the questions that ask, what trail assets currently exist in your county? What limits or trail development locally? Or so I got to talk to somebody that's
Go to who
involved in that,
says.
and that would be Sean. So I got to go out to him. So I think that's all I had, other than my eye injections.
You were busy.
The CERD, transit, and RPA all right the same.
Mhm.
Bill, I don't have to.
Yeah, so you can get a piece of pizza and a coffee in between, or a Pepsi.
Yeah, and the restroom. It's all
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Or a canteen.
Well,
Yeah, you gotta drive a little ways.
I'd have to drive a little ways to get that, but that's good too. Yeah. So
You can go on.
yeah,
That's good.
we currently have, by the way, just for GP, which actually we will be using these funds, if I am not mistaken. I gotta get, I can see my line here. So we've got 1.4 million in infrastructure, well, we call service transportation program. We've got 1.4 million program for FY26, which is part of the Libertyville Road project. So we will be taking those funds out for that project. Okay, thank you. All right.
You had no, okay. Um. Any public comments? Zoom, any public comments? Any public comments? We'll move on. Allow claims and approve reports.
You can't read that big a figure. Lee, do you want to see these before we do them?
Yeah, please, thank you.
I didn't sign off on them.
We'll take a moment while
Well, Joe said.
we look at the bills.
Are we,
I'd already looked at them.
is Shannon coming over?
I think she had some things to talk about, but
There's
I texted her.
Shannon always has things to talk about this time of year.
Uh, You're right. Didn't spend much money this week. Iowa Department of Health and Human Services, 225.86 for telephones. 168 for office supplies and 50 for office supplies from Quill. 56 for Pitney Bowes.
After you do that, we'll have to decide whether we'd like to call her and see where when she would like to meet with us. So Abby can get it on the agenda.
Do you want me to go ahead and announce the amount then?
Would you please?
I would entertain, or I would move that we what said, allow claims and approve reports in the amount of $91,091.34.
Wow. Small week.
Yeah,
Spent all the money last year.
Yeah. Yeah.
You need a second. Yes, second.
All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passed. Thank you very much.
Motion to adjourn.
Are we gonna adjourn for the budget
Oh.
session?
That's right, since you.
We'll just save that. Lee is busy looking at some stuff. We're gonna take a few minutes before we start our budget work session.
so what do we?
This is
This
proof,
is-
this
I
is
think-
proof they paid us.
Yeah. I think
Oh, is that what that is?
This is, I think Darcy filed 13, so they just hit.
Is Shannon gonna come in?
Yeah.
And I feel her presence is here.
The only thing I was really kind of thinking we might take a look at today is the timeline for the budget. This is the earliest possible timeline that we could do because of the requirements, the state requirements for posting, publishing. So our next step would be setting the maximum tax dollar levy. And that has to be done by March 5th.
When do we set the public hearing date?
Let's see,
Said no earlier than March 20th.
yeah. I haven't looked at this since last week. There, between January 22nd and March 5th. So between now and March 5th at 4 p.m. You have to do it before March 5th at 4 p.m. Because that's when we have to have all that information in the state system for that mailing that we have to do.
When would you suggest we do that?
Well, you still have to make some decisions on the salaries, and I'm gonna
Mhm.
get Abby a report today so that she can check the information that was turned in on the salaries to the actual budget numbers. And then we just have a few little fine tuning details. Are you wanting to meet, you're gonna meet with HHS again? Are you wanting to meet with any of the other departments again?
I think that remains to be seen. I'd like to leave that
Okay.
open.
Well, you've still got plenty of
Yeah, yeah.
time, so, we can't even do the soonest
Okay.
that you could possibly have the hearing is the first hearing is
Okay.
March 20th. That's by
So we
by
got,
Iowa code.
we got a little time. Okay,
Because this is all the information for the soonest that you
Yeah.
could possibly do it.
yeah. Thank you for that as well. I think right now we're gonna find out when Emily from DHS can come back in and talk to us. Joe's gonna be gone on Thursday.
Yeah,
Right.
I told Abby that I'd sent a text or email to Christie too.
Yeah,
Yeah, and then I followed your email. She suggested Tuesday at the conference board meeting, but
then we,
maybe through Colmartin.
Oh,
no, I probably did that. I said we need to have it on the agenda.
Right, well, but she said she couldn't get it on that.
Right. She is the keeper of our agenda.
And I
So as
thought-
soon as we call Emily, we can figure out when we're gonna do
I
that.
would say I've got a doctor's appointment Wednesday morning.
Okay. So Wednesday morning is out and Thursday's out.
So it looks like Tuesday. I'm just kidding.
Tuesday after this time or Wednesday afternoon.
Well, yeah, our conference board meeting won't take very long.
I know it won't, but
Yeah.
Conference board is
8:30, yeah, it is, it's
Tomorrow.
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 Okay.
All the time you got to 8:30.
Yeah. So how soon, who calls? Do you want us to call her? Do you want to call her?
I know Christy was in communication with her via email.
Okay. Do you think maybe Christie's has that answer yet? Probably not, or she would let you know.
She'll let you
Okay, okay.
So,
know. If I, whatever time on Tuesday after this time, do you want me to call you to confirm that will work or just put it on?
I trust you can figure it out.
Okay,
Okay.
just wanna make sure and not just do whatever I wanted.
Yeah, just do what you want.
Okay,
So, okay, so we got, so then we'll
we'll be good at 8:30 in the mornings, find out.
So we meet with, I don't know what that has really anything to do with this, but we want to make sure that we're on the agenda for the 5th of February. In the evening. With 12-year-old.
Yeah,
Um,
7 p.m.
You gonna be able to make it?
Yeah,
so. We're really
Jason has stopped out and talked to me.
kind of hurry up, wait.
Yeah, I know you have a few little decisions to make still, and you're wanting to meet with HHS again, but really there's not a lot beyond that we can do yet.
Okay. Okay.
After you have all of your decisions made, we can talk more about what you want your levies to be, but we have to have all the decisions made first.
I do want to know, not that I'm necessarily going to buy it, but I do want to know what the minimum is for the library.
Okay, I do have a note to
Okay.
figure that up.
Okay.
I can get that to you here shortly.
I thought it was,
I also think we need to take a big hard look at the overtime in our county. I know at one point Josh had said that he was on a 24/24. You know, if we'd hire a few more people, if we could, maybe as a goal, maybe we can move those hourly things down to 24 and 16, which will allow us to not have much overtime.
I will tell you that you will devastate the ambulance because your people will leave. They will not work 24 and 16. And the reason for that is really actually very simple if you think about it.
Mhm.
You're going to come on at 3 o'clock in the morning and leave at 11 o'clock in the morning and come on at 3 o'clock in the afternoon and leave at 11 o'clock at night. And
So then you're saying it's okay to pay all that overtime?
what I'm saying.
I was just looking
Susan,
at,
what
I
I'm
was just
saying-
looking at a way to maybe stop doing it, that's all. You don't
What I'm
need to get
saying-
upset, I'm just thinking out loud.
Well, you asked me a question.
I
Did you
did.
not?
I don't know, I don't remember, we'll have to play it back on Zoom.
You said, what you mean is that then, and what I'm explaining to you is that the way that the system works, they're not going to work a 40-hour, 24/16 schedule. We can work people, you may be able to hire them to work 24 hours, I don't know. But the 16 hours during the week, even if you're working it all at one time, you know, you come in and you work, for example, you come in at noon, I'm just using a hypothetical number, you come in at noon, you work till 4 o'clock in the morning. You come in at 4 o'clock in the morning and you work until noon the next day.
So
That's your 16-hour schedule.
this is what you said before, I know
Right.
that, I know what you said before.
And I know the industry. And it's, everybody does 24. Washington County tried to do this and it was an absolute disaster. Because what ended up happening was that they couldn't fill the holes because people wouldn't work the 16s. And so all I'm saying is that you may create, all I'm saying is that you have to think about the unintended consequences of moving in a different direction. And the other thing is that currently, right now, that one department, albeit obviously we have the EMS levy, but that one department actually has a positive ending fund balance. Is not requiring any other taxes from any of the funds that are affected by the legislature and the property tax.
I was just asking the question.
I know, and I'm just trying to give you information.
Mhm.
And to reiterate Lee talking about it, I talked to Jordan up at Washington County. He said it was a mess. They had to go back to the 224s. They really didn't have a choice
Mhm.
because they thought they could do that and it did not work.
Mhm.
So,
Have you talked to the guy at Washington as well?
Not to that guy, but I've talked to
Mhm.
people at Washington, and the reason it doesn't work is because the industry, right, wrong, or indifferent,
Mhm.
AJ can work 224s here. And then he can go to Henry County and work 224s
Mhm.
or work a 24 or whatever. And we do have medics and EMTs that cross over from different services. For that very reason, so they can come in here and make admittedly a pretty good wage.
You know, that's their county's problems. I was just looking.
Oh, no, but what I'm saying, the reason I'm saying that is because then they can go over there, still only work 4 days a week, have 3 days off. And make $120,000
Well,
a year.
good for them.
Yeah.
I was just looking at our county.
Yeah, well, I get it. But, you know,
I think we've talked about this now.
okay,
So where do we go from here? We're waiting for a time to meet with Emily from DHS. Anything?
I feel like when we took the initial look at the fund balances,
Pretty good.
they look pretty good. So I would take direction from you guys at this point if you think that you are wanting to reevaluate any of the other budgets again, or you just want to move forward.
I guess I feel, you know, we have talked to everybody. It was very good meetings, but I feel I still want to look at the dollars.
And you do have time to do that
You know,
still.
Because I think we have 15,000 people in the county to worry about the money that we're spending.
So how about this? How about if I determine what the minimum is for the library and make the few other little changes that we know we've identified. Christy talked to Jerry Leonard and he had omitted the line for his well abandonment. So
Also, that's why he's not here today.
he's asking for the same amount as
okay.
last year, so I need to add that in.
Okay.
And there's just a few other little things that I'll mention when I get it together. And then we'll get an overall printout and I'll email it to you guys so you can look it over
I appreciate that.
and see the few little changes that we already know that need to be made. And then Abby, you're putting it on the agenda for every week. So we discuss it next
Okay.
week if that sounds good.
Sounds great.
All right, because this was all I had for you
Okay.
for today. I
Thank
worked
you.
on real
Thank you for
estate
that.
last week.
So if we have nothing else, no other business to do we have a motion to adjourn?
so move.
second.
Motion and a second, all those in favor?
Hi.
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned.